All right, welcome on in, everyone. We're going to give everyone a couple of moments to join on in, but welcome to our Tithely University Express. So we're going to talk all about pledge campaigns here in a moment. We're going to give some time for everyone to get connected and join on in. So welcome on in, everyone. As you come on in, I love to get some interaction from everyone. So let us know, where are you calling in from? What part of the world are you located in? And then what summer activity are you looking forward to the most? If you are in the US, more than likely we're heading into summer and you're excited about those summer plans. If you're located anywhere like Australia or in the Southern Hemisphere, you're heading into a little bit colder season. So maybe let us know something that you're looking forward to as a change into your colder season. But I'm calling in from Kentucky here in the US. So it is definitely getting warm around here. And so we've got recently I feel like turned into summertime, about 90 degrees, I feel like, during the day. But summer activity, got some friends with a pool. That's the best type of pool to have, friends with one, so that you don't have to take care of it, but you get to enjoy it. So that is what I'm looking forward to, is spending some time around the pool. And here on the call with us, we have Sam as well. So Sam, where are you calling in from, and what summer activity are you looking most forward to?
Hi. Yes, I'm from Nashville. Also, I put it in the chat, so feel free to use that, everybody. Summer activity, I love a swimming pool. I also feel like it's iced coffee season. So I feel like just
Yes.
having cold drinks is nice. It feels like it was winter forever here this year. So happy for the sunshine.
Agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. I am seeing someone messaged in and said that the chat box is disabled for you guys. And unfortunately, since we are already live, I don't have a way of going in and editing that. But thanks for trying anyways.
Oh, use the Q&A.
Yeah, we'll be able to see the Q&A. That's all right. But thanks so much, everyone, for joining on in. I'm seeing everybody's getting connected. So we'll go ahead and jump on in to make the most of our time. As you saw advertised, we are having a Tithely University focused on pledge campaigns. So today we're going to talk really tangibly about why you would want to use a pledge campaign, how you can kind of build that campaign, and how you can leverage the Tithely system to be most beneficial for your church if you're looking into using pledge campaigns. So before we get there, we're going to go through a couple housekeeping things, and then we will kick it off with looking at the specifics of pledge campaigns. So to introduce you to our team first, my name is Mark. I manage our success team here at Tithely, and then we have Sam on this call as well. Sam is one of the team leads of our success team here. So we've both been around Tithely for a little while, and so we're excited to kind of talk through how to best use pledge campaigns for your church, and how to really answer any questions that you guys may have. Alrighty. Before we kind of dive into who our team is and what we stand for, I want to let you guys know that we do have a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. And so if you have any questions as we go along, please click on that Q&A box. You can submit any questions that you have there. We will be monitoring that Q&A. And then at the end of our time, we will spend a few moments looking through that Q&A, answering some of those live. So if you have questions as we go along, please drop those in the Q&A box, and we'll have the opportunity to answer any of your questions that you may have. Alrighty. Sam and I are both part of our customer experience team. If you've interacted with anyone here at Tithely, more than likely it has been our customer experience team. Our motto is to be by your side and for your growth. So to always be standing beside you, watching you grow with the Tithely platform, and also watch you reaching the goals and the mission of your local church and your local community. So some of our cornerstones here are being customer-centric, focusing on you, being innovative and looking for new ways of approaching standing situations, being transparent in the ways that we deliver success to you, and the things that may go on. We make sure we stay transparent and we be honest with you. And we are solution motivated. So when we see you succeed, we succeed as well. And we're partnered and invested in that success. So we truly are looking for successful moments for you, and that you're growing with your Tithely account. So that's a little bit about our customer experience team and what we stand for here. And I'm really excited and love to work with customers just like you. So to kind of give you a preview of our product suites here at Tithely, this is everything that we offer here at Tithely. You may be using one, two, all of these things, but Tithely offers a wide variety of products for you to use in your local church. And so we like to say that, we provide almost everything needed to run your local church. And so a lot of these are admin side. So we have them broken up into finance, comms, and people. So today specifically, we're going to be talking about pledge campaigns. And all of you are using our giving account, but you may be using any of these other things like Pay, which is a point of sale. If you're familiar with like a Square Reader, it's similar to that. We have our messaging, our app, so an app on your mobile phone. And then we have background checks. We have our Breeze CHMS, our Alvanto CHMS, so many member data, tracking things. And so we have a wide variety of products. So if you see something on this screen and you're like, hey, I've heard about that, but I don't really know fully about it. Maybe it could work for a church, maybe it couldn't. I just want to know a little bit more information. Just let us know. And we're happy to get you in contact with someone to give you a demo of that. And just to see if it's something you might be interested in. So this is all the products we offer here at Tithely. If you see something here you would be interested in, feel free and let us know. Alrighty, so today, this is our agenda. So we are going to be doing an express version of our Tithely University today. Pledge campaigns, basically because pledge campaigns are pretty simple and straightforward. And so we're going to be kind of walking through exactly how they work, answering your questions. We're probably predicting this to last around the 30-minute mark. We may go over, may go under, but we'll be right around that time. And so I hope you have time to sit and enjoy with us. And then following our call today, we will send along a recording of this call so that you can look through that as well. If you would like to just sit back, relax, and enjoy the content today, you can tangibly work through it on your own account a little bit later when we send you the recording. So today we're going to be talking through first examples of pledge campaigns, and so why you would want to and when you would want to be using pledge campaigns, and then why at your church pledge campaigns may be useful as compared to other ways of people donating to your church. Then we'll talk about how to get started in a demo of the pledge campaign area and how to launch that, and then some practical tips for launching your Tithely Pledge campaign. And so what we've seen from time and time again of people launching pledge campaigns and what our tips could be surrounding that. So that's our agenda today. And without further ado, we're going to jump on in and talk about when you would want to use pledge campaigns. So I have a couple examples here of some times that you might want to use pledge campaigns, and then we'll move to be talking about why using pledge campaigns over using some of our other offerings here at Tithely. So the first example I have of when you may want to use a pledge campaign is something like a building fund. So something maybe a huge project that you guys are looking at going forward with at your church, but it's really daunting and it's a huge chunk of money, but you need to raise that money. Maybe you're looking at adding a new addition onto your building. Maybe you're looking at building a new building or moving into a permanent space from a temporary space. This would be an excellent time to be using pledge campaigns because you have that overarching goal, and you can work together with your members to accomplish that goal together. Maybe you're remodeling your building. Maybe your building was built like many churches back many years ago, and you're wanting to do a little refresh on your building, but it's a big financial undertaking, and remodeling your building could be an excellent way to work on using a pledge campaign. Maybe it's just your basic annual giving. Maybe you want to set out a budgeted goal of raising so much money throughout the year, and you want to allow your church members to pledge all along the way to accomplishing that goal. So maybe it's not something tangibly you're doing like a building campaign or remodeling your building or anything like that, but it's just an annual giving because it allows your church to set a budget as needed, and church members can kind of sit alongside you and pledge certain amounts and reach their goals over time throughout the year. Maybe it's missions. Maybe this next year you're wanting to support one specific mission work, or maybe one specific country, or whatever that may be. I mean, you can set up goals for yourself, communicating with the mission workers to provide a certain amount or a certain period of time And so this would be a great opportunity for your church members to kind of partner alongside in that and to pledge certain amounts to give over a period of time. So there is just a wide range of different things that you can use pledge campaigns for, as you can see. And so every church is different. And so maybe in your local church, you're like, hey, we're not going to be doing anything with the building fund, but annual giving and setting out those pledges so that people can set a budget. Like maybe that's where you align. So it could look different for different people. And so I encourage you to kind of think in your own context. When could you use pledge campaigns? As we're walking through this demo, in your specific scenario, what makes the most sense? And so that is a little bit about when we have seen pledge campaigns used. And now we're going to talk about why pledge campaigns. So why would you want to use pledge campaigns over other systems at your church for some church giving? So I'm going to hand the mic over to Sam, and she's going to take us through some of the reasons of why you would want to use pledge campaigns.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so in thinking through why you might use Tithely Pledge Campaigns, the feature in the Tithely dashboard, you might want to consider, do you have a large project or goal that you're working towards? So usually it's helpful, I think, for congregations and members and people who come to church to see like, what is the goal or the big picture item that we're trying to raise money for? So a lot of times people may not know like what it costs behind the scenes to like redo a building or, put new flooring down or whatever happens, or even like unexpected situations. If, I've talked to a customer recently who like had much more snow than they anticipated. So there was like a lot of cost in removing snow. So things that you can't always predict, but know that like people may want to give towards those things. So I think it's really cool to be able to share like actual numbers on facts, like this is how much things cost and what we're hoping, like what we kind of need to be able to pay for certain stuff. So yeah, large projects, goals are essential. Obviously, like, there are certain fixed costs for everything in this world. And so I feel like just having the donors, again, be aware of like how much things cost to run the church, to pay staff, volunteers, all of that. You're planning hopefully for church growth, and this really does help donor involvement. So we at Tithely really love to think of ways of like how to help and equip churches and admins on like how to know where their donors are at. So not just like who gives and who doesn't give, but like it really says like if donors want to set up something and commit to something and have that money be counted on, I feel like it just helps you guys know like where families are at and keep a pulse on the congregation and what's going on with their members, with people.
Man, I wanted to hit on that one too. I think that is so true. Like, I know that personally, like being able to, give a certain amount every week or every month, like is great. But for me to be able to see like, what is the accumulation of that over the year? I mean, I can kind of set that goal for myself, be like, I want to give X amount over the year. And this is what it looks like to do that and celebrate at the end that, you set out that growth. You set out that goal. And the donor gets super involved in the process. So I think that's a great one.
Yeah. So this next point about setting agendas for donors, allowing donors to plan now and give later, and setting up the plan for the year, kind of like what Mark said, really being able to say like, okay, I could give up or I could give this much total. What does that mean on a monthly basis? Or like if I were to say, instead of getting my Starbucks every week, I'm going to try to give my, $4 to this instead or something. I feel like there's a lot of unique ways for donors to be able to say like, maybe I can't give $1,000 today, but over the course of a year, maybe I can. So, and then automatic giving reminder emails. This is similar to like what it's like when you set up a recurring gift with Tithely. So they will be getting notified like it's time to give if they haven't set up a recurring gift. And we'll show you in a minute how like the different ways to set up pledges on the donor side of like, you can just give one time, or you could go ahead and set up the gift to automatically be withdrawn. So there's different options. And then you'll see this in a second too. There's a great feature in the pledge campaign area that shows at-risk donors. And so this would be people who say committed a number, but maybe haven't put credit card information on. So if someone said they're going to give $1 million, but they gave you no info on how they would do that, that might be like a risky pledge amount because there's nothing to say that they actually do intend to give those funds. So there's a lot of different ways that you will be able to like see those different categories of people and then figure out your communication plans based on who those are. So maybe I want to, the people who are healthy on this list, like maybe I do want to send them some type of custom message or thank you note or something like that. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use the info on once you create the pledge.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, great. Well, thanks, Sam. Yeah, I think these are some of great reasons why you would want to use pledge campaigns. I know that, like I said, every church that we work with is different. So maybe this looks different in your local church. But I think that these are some of the larger reasons that we see people using pledge campaigns. Specifically, some of those automatic giving reminders, allowing people maybe at now or as we start summer or maybe the beginning of the year, like whenever it may be at your church, like being able for people to say, like, I'm going to plan now and give later. So people set up their goals and it automatically happens on a regular basis. So some really, really helpful features there. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and move us on into a demo of pledge campaigns. And so we will talk specifically now exactly how to create that pledge campaign and how to launch it for your local church. So I'm going to go ahead and go on over to this other tab I have here for pledge campaigns. And so when you're on your Tithely account, it will look very similar to this. You'll see once you're in the giving module and you've lit up giving here in green, you can just click on pledge campaigns. And this will bring you into our pledge campaigns area. If you have not built a pledge campaign, it'll invite you to do that. But once you click on pledge campaigns, you can come up here in the upper right and you can click on new campaign. So from here, it's going to allow you to name it. So let's say we are going to do, let's say the 2023 mission work is what we're going to name this campaign. And if you have multiple campuses, it'll allow you to choose between those campuses. So we say you have a North campus, a South campus. You can choose between those campuses. Then you can select a fund. So you can say, I want this fund to go towards general. Maybe you have a missions one. So we have like a missions here, and you can have it go in there. Then you can set up an overall goal. So let's say over this year, you had the goal of raising, let's say $50,000 for a certain mission work. You can set out that goal of $50,000. Then you can have a start date. So say we want this to start today. And then we want it to end on, let's say, the end of the year. So I could do through December 31st, 2023, and then just continue on with your details. It'll go ahead and create your pledge campaign for you, and then it'll allow you to put in any other content you want. So say you're wanting to add in your church logo, a featured image, a featured video. You can put the video URL here. This will allow you to pull from our media area, which is a free media platform for you to use. So let's say our featured image, I'm going to come over here to Tithely Media, and I'm just going to type in missions. Computer is freaking out a little bit on me. For some reason that's not going, but let me go ahead. I'm just going to let's look at, what's a good missions one? These are all free graphics for you to use, so totally available for you. So let's pick this one, and then I'm gonna click add to the selection, save and close, and then we're gonna add in that media there for it to show up as our featured image. And then I can put in any descriptions I want. So let's say I want to say in 2023, we are giving to mission work here at home in Nashville, Tennessee. And then you can put description, mission work, drive, let's call it that. And then we can say give today. All of this is customizable to you, totally what you want. If you want to change the font on it, you have all the different fonts here you can choose. You can change different colors, whatever you'd like. And I'm going to go ahead and save my changes that I've made in here. Our giving page will then go ahead and be updated. So I'm going to go ahead and just before we kind of jump into, looking at the web page and anything like that, I want to kind of show you some other features that can happen within a pledge campaign. So if you come over here to notifications, this is where you can configure notifications both to your donors and to your admins. And so this is where you can set up to your admins. Do you want to send a daily report email to all admins, send a weekly report, or do not send reports at all? This is how people are doing on their pledges, who the at-risk donors are, and things like that. So you can set up daily, weekly, or no reminders or no reports at all. And then you can set up the thank you message to donors. And so this is a thank you message after pledging on the web page. And so if you don't put anything in, it'll just put some default text in here, but it'll say thank you for pledging towards, and then it'll say the 2023 mission work. And then you can set up, and this is, I always suggest that this is a great place for you to put in a personal note, maybe from your pastoral team, whoever that may be, people may be familiar with, and put a note of appreciation of people's giving right here so that people feel recognized and loved on there. So lots of customization you can do there. So I'll come back to the dashboard and the donors here in just a moment. But if I click over here on web page, this is where you're going to be able to see the actual web page or the URL and the embed code that you can use to direct people towards giving towards your pledge campaign. So all you have to do is click this copy page URL, and I'll go ahead and open that up right over here as a new tab. And you'll see this is the pledge campaign that I just created. You'll see that we have a goal of $50,000. Right now we don't have any pledges and people haven't given yet, but this is all the custom stuff that I have set up right there. You'll see how much time is left on it, that custom image that I have set up there. Okay, so that is an example of setting up all of that. You have the embed code. You can, if you want to share on social media, there's lots of other help things of how you can put this on a Tithely site, Squarespace, Wix, WordPress, all of those things. You can show, let me turn this, turn that on, just to give you an example. There's tons of customization that you can make on here. Lots of work that can be done to make it completely customizable to you. So that is how you would build out your pledge campaign. Now I'm going to come over here to one that has been built already so that we can see an overview of how the dashboard and donors looks. So when you come in here, you can look at the percentage of your goal that has been pledged. This is admin facing, right? So this is percentage of your goal that had been pledged, the number of donors that have pledged, the number of high-risk donors. These are the people who have pledged without any payment details. Mid-risk donors pledged with the payment details and haven't actually started to donate. And then low-risk donors, they have payment details and they have started to donate. Pledge campaigns they have set up the pledge and they have set up recurring donations. All of those varying risks levels. And so you can look at all of that. You can see a graph of how much has been donated over time. And then you can come over here to donors and you can see that list and you can configure those by high risk, mid risk, low risk, no risk. And you can see all of those and what the risk is. So you'll see that, Samantha here has no risk. Because she's 100% donated and she pledged $400 and she gave all of that. So there's no risk there. But Jim down here, he pledged $500, but he hasn't donated anything. So he would be identified as a high risk donor. You can message them here. You can filter out the list. You can export this list, totally customizable to you. So some really cool analytics that our developers have put into here for you to use. Alrighty, I'm going to kind of show you here. I went ahead and I have embedded the pledge campaign. So you'll see here, this is an example of one opening up on an entirely new web page, but you can also embed this in your website. So I kind of put this inside of a test website that I have, and then I embedded the pledge campaign here for a building fund. So you'll see the building fund here. I can click make a pledge, and I'll kind of show you how the flow looks for the donor when they're going to make this pledge. So first thing I'm going to do is set up my total pledge amount. So how much do I want to pledge over time? And so let's say over time, I'm wanting to pledge $5,000 for this year. I can set up if I want to give weekly, biweekly, monthly, or on the 1st and the 15th. So it's up to me when I want to start and end my pledge. So let's say I want to start my pledge today And then I want to finish giving by, it'll let you do all the way up to your end date. Right now, I only have this certain pledge going through 7/1. But if you had it set up through the end of the year, you could, set up to give through the end of the year. The individual donor can choose their start and end date. You can select how much you want to give today. You can say $0, and then it'll allow you to pick, do you want to give 714? Do you want to give 1,42858? So this is automatic calculations on how much you would need to give on a monthly or weekly basis to accomplish your goal by the scheduled time. So for you to give weekly or monthly to accomplish your $5,000 in your time frame. Or you can set up a custom amount. So say today I want to give, $50, but then moving forward, and I'll show you this in a second, you can give a different amount. So say I want to give $50 today, and I can set up my name here. So say I set up my name, and then can put in my phone number, and then it'll tell you here, your total pledged amount is $5,000. Today, you're giving $50 towards that pledge. Your recurring gift starting on 5/16 to 7/21 is 7/7/15 weekly, because we just have that shorter time frame. And then there are 7 recurring gifts. So I'll click on Create My Pledge Campaign. It'll go ahead and spin up your pledge, and it'll create that within the dashboard. And then once that has been created, you will be able to then come over into your Pledge Campaigns area, and I should be able to refresh this and see the new pledge campaign that has been created here. I am on a test server, so I might have a little bit of a difficulty looking at this, but this is technically how it always works. But okay, there we go. We have Mark here. I'm showing as high risk because I haven't given that donation yet, because I didn't proceed with the donation. It would then walk you through, after creating that pledge, giving that one-time donation if you did want to do that. But it would go ahead and list you in here, show you how much you've donated, and stuff like that. So that is the high level how you would work with pledge campaigns. I hope that has been helpful for you. And again, if you guys have any questions, if there's anything you would like to specifically ask about, I would ask that you go ahead and put those in the Q&A box and we can address those. But that is some of the basics of how you would work with pledge campaigns. As you can see, it's a really intuitive area and one that is really helpful both for the donor and for the admin.
I was also going to call out another thing to note about the choosing the fund. So you create your campaign, you have the fund named missions. If that fund is available for other people to give to, donors can also just give to that fund if it's in that date range, and it will show up on that pledge area. So sometimes people maybe just want to give one bigger chunk gift, and they're I just want to give this gift one time. So they could just give $500 to that fund, and it would show up in your pledge as the list of people who are a part of that campaign if they've given in that window. So that's also another way. Or if you're adding cash and check in admin batch giving to that fund in those time frames as well, those will show up in the pledge list. So those are other ways to get donors' names in there.
Yeah, and if they've already set up that, let's say that Bob and Sandy set up a pledge at the beginning of the year to give $5,000, and then they hand you a check midway through the year for $500, and you put that in admin batch giving, it'll track alongside their pledge. Yeah, it works between different areas entirely. So awesome. All right, I'm gonna hand it back over to Sam, and she's gonna talk a little bit about some of our tips for launching out a successful pledge campaign, and then we'll have a few minutes of Q&A here at the end.
Cool. Okay, let me move that over. Cool. So tips for launching your pledge campaign. Communicate early and often. Yes, I feel like the longer the window, the better this could pan out. You could use printed materials, emails, social media, on screen during services, from stage. I often see usually if people print something or put something on a screen, they would use a QR code or something that people can scan to get onto that, either the pledge form or the landing page, that if you want people to see the description and read more about it, or you can always just get them to go straight to the pledge form that gets them to create a pledge. So depending on what you want, we're happy to recommend QR code companies. There's a million out there that are free that you could just put that link in and it will, take them there easy. So keep the conversation going. Yes, I think that bringing this up constantly is helpful for people who may have missed it one time. A lot of times people be like, I didn't even know we were raising money to, build a children's building or something like that. I love the idea of having it be like very something that your whole community is involved in, and not just like, something that people might miss out on, because I think that every gift helps. So even if you're like, I just want to contribute what I can, and if that's just a little bit, it's still like nice to have the opportunity to do that. And thanking your donors throughout the campaign, of course, like I think people, admins especially, like are just so grateful for everything that donors want to give, and like the generosity that they see from their church members. And so especially like having that, those boxes or the filters of people in the campaign, and being able to like use messaging to message them, or just reach out to them separately, and having people, be able to go in there and send a list of who's already given to this, and contact them that way. And then, yes, keeping an eye on those risky donors. So sometimes people may not even know that they didn't actually go through with the gift. So maybe they put in $5,000 and they just thought that that was the end of it. So I think it's definitely helpful to follow up with anybody in that risk category, to just say like, did you know that the card wasn't on file? Do you need help with setting up that gift? Like, do you want me to go ahead and do it with you? Or like Tithely Support is also so happy to help in those situations as well. If people get stuck at a certain point, or if whatever might put them in that category.
Yeah.
So yeah, offering help. I think that's it, right? Oh, celebrate with donors. Okay, yes. So I think that's probably the most fun one, to be able to celebrate where you are at the end of this, or what you guys accomplished as a church and community. So hopefully if you meet that goal, or have enough funds to do whatever you're trying to do with that money, I think it's a great way to just, give back and let everybody feel like the momentum of what just happened because of what people were able to give.
Yeah. Absolutely. Man, I just want to reiterate the thanking your donors and celebrating with donors. I think that so often is missed in churches, that people give and, the church never, closes a loop and thanks the donor for their contribution. But I think it is so needed. I think, and also celebrating with donors when they accomplish their goal. I think that this is a really incredible way for someone to go from not giving anything to setting up a goal and accomplishing that goal. And when they do that, really like allowing your church to celebrate with them that they were able to make that commitment and give freely. I think that is definitely something to celebrate, and just let donors know like their giving is impacting the church directly, and how much of an impact that delivers. Alrighty. Well, we are closing in on our time here. I promised that I would keep it within the 30 to 35 minute mark. So we're wrapping it up. So here we have something from a question, and a great question. So we had a question about, can our church have several physical bank accounts linked on our profile, so that the building fund goes to one account, and maybe missions goes to another. So Tithely currently only operates with one bank account per organization. And so we would recommend that you just do one bank account, and then you transfer that, on your own, however you would see fit. But, let's say that that's just definitely not going to work for you. You could set up a secondary location underneath your name, and name it maybe missions or building fund. And that way you could set up a different bank account. I would definitely recommend that you communicate well with our Tithely team and then we'll give you recommendations on exactly how to do that, because it could get complex. If you have 14 different campuses set up, it can get really confusing. So I would really recommend that you just stick with the one campus and you transfer on your own. But if that's something you're just not able to get around, then we could set up different campuses for you. But definitely chat with the Tithely team and they can help you on that. Other than that, that's the only outstanding question. I think everything else was resolved. But if there's anything else that you think of, go ahead and drop that in the Q&A as we do finish out here. And if after our call today, if you have more questions and they just came to your mind as soon as we hung up, please just email our support team at support@tithe.ly. And we will be more than happy to help you there. And again, we'll be following up by email with some resources. Join our Tithely Facebook group. It's called Tithely Insider Official Group at facebook.com/group/Tithely. And you can join us there to have the continue the conversation with other admins that may be there, and you could kind of bend their ear as well. And then I wanted to just kind of promo here. You may be sitting there and saying like, I love the Tithely platform, but I need some help. We have a variety of different online resources for you to use, and maybe you've tried those and you still are needing more help. We do offer on-site training. So this is where our team can actually come physically to your church, and we can train you on the different areas of the Tithely system. And so if that's something that sounds interesting to you, you can go to get.tithe.ly/onsite training. You can request more information there. So again, that's get.tithe.ly/onsite training. You can learn more information there, and you can submit a request, and we can work with you on a personalized quote for us coming out to your church to give you training on the Tithely system. And if you want some of that online training, you can access it here at that link. So it's app.livestorm.co/tithe-ly. And there's tons of resources on there for you as well. You can also go to our Tithely homepage and click on resources, and you'll see all of those resources listed there. Well, thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to learn a little bit more about pledge campaigns and hang out with us about how to send messages of appreciation to donors, get donors engaged. I hope that it was helpful for you to learn a little bit more about some areas of the Tithely system. Again, we'll be following up with an email with some resources and a recording of this call. If there's anything that we can do ever in the future to assist you in your Tithely journey, please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to help. That's all we have for you today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.